What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we're talking about the latest from OPI, which is actually a collab with Hello Kitty in honor of her 50th anniversary. And let me tell you, I am very excited about this one. I am a huge Hello Kitty fan. You might be able to tell by what I'm wearing. I had to decide which of my Hello Kitty shirts to wear for this video. That's how many I own. I'm also wearing, I don't know if you can see it, I have a little Hello Kitty necklace on. I've got my Hello Kitty bracelet on. I am a massive Hello Kitty fan. And this is actually not the first collab that OPI has done with Hello Kitty. They've done a few in the past, and honestly, I have loved them in the past. So I had pretty high hopes for this collection as well. Now, if you haven't heard of OPI before, I would be very surprised. They're an incredibly popular brand, but they are a mainstream salon brand, and all of their polishes are 3-free, meaning they are free of formaldehyde, toluene, and DBP. So yeah, this collection is a little bit smaller than the ones they've done with Hello Kitty in the past. This time we've got 6 brand new nail polishes. Most of them are actually a specialty finish with the exception of one cream, and a couple of them are actually sheers, so I'm also going to try those over black. I also want to note before I get into the swatches that the bottles are a little bit different from the usual OPI. We've got the same glass bottle, but the cap is actually a little bit different. So instead of that very slight texture that OPI usually has, it's very smooth and it has a little Hello Kitty 50th anniversary logo on it. It doesn't affect the painting at all, but I just wanted to make a note of it because opening it felt slightly different from usual. But anyway, let me get into these swatches, then we can talk a little bit more about pricing and availability and also my thoughts on them. So let's go ahead and roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Orly Bonder base coat. Starting off with Hello Kitty, Hello Pretty, and this is just a classic Hello Kitty color and also a classic OPI color. It's this gorgeous cherry red base that's actually packed with these really beautiful, delicate little glass flecks, and depending on how the light catches them, they can either look gold or more of a pinky tone. And I have to say, I always talk about how much I love OPI reds. If you watched my organizing nail polish video, you know I have an entire drawer of them, and I will just never get enough of the quality of OPI reds, and this one is no exception. It's just stunning. It has this almost jelly-like formula, but as you could see, it was opaque in the first coat, and I think having these little flakies in there really just add to how special this color is. Next up, we have the shade Follow Your Heart, and this one is the only cream of the collection. It is a medium pink color, and honestly, it is a fairly basic shade, but I will say, one, the formula is incredible. I'm actually wearing this right now and in the intro and outro, and I feel like one coat really covered up my nails so nicely. I'm showing you 2 coats in this video, but I have been wearing one coat on my nails, and the other thing is so many people have complimented me on this color already, and I haven't even been wearing it for that long. So it is a simple shade, but it's also kind of a classic, you know what I mean? So it's simple, but it's also kind of the perfect pink nail polish. Next up, we've got the shade Supercute Color, which is a super cute color. It's this really, really soft lavender base that is packed with an intense blue shimmer. And this one, the formula was a little bit on the sheer side. I started off with 2 coats, but I found that it was just a little bit too sheer and slightly patchy. So I ended up applying a 3rd coat, and that's where I got the perfect coverage for it. Now, I really do like this color. I don't love 3-coaters, but I do think that it's a pretty shade, and I love how soft and subtle it is, but it also has that really intense eye-catching blue. I honestly think that that blue is more intense in real life than it looks on camera, but I do think it's really gorgeous. I feel like it's more of a springy color, but it also kind of feels like an any time of year shade for me. Moving on, we have the shade Biggest Celebration, and this was actually the polish that I was the most excited about when I first saw this collection. This one is a sheer, and it's a really interesting kind of formula. It's kind of this milky base that has a pink purple kind of shimmer running throughout, and we also have these white glass flakies, and we also have this kind of pinky, coppery, flaky running throughout as well. And this is a type of finish that I feel like we saw a lot around the holidays, and I thought that those colors were super unique and funky, and I really love it in this sort of soft sheer version. I built it up to perfect coverage in 3 coats, and I really just love it as a sort of funky neutral shade. I was also really curious to try it as a topper, so first I tried wearing it over the pink, and I thought it was kind of interesting interesting, but I didn't really love it. I thought that the shimmer within gave a really interesting glow with that pink, but it almost felt just like a little bit lumpy. I didn't love the way that it looked as a topper over pink, so I also tried it over black, and I will say I did not like it as a topper over black either. So this one I really enjoyed. I love finding polishes that you can also wear as a topper and they look totally different over other colors, but in this case I would not wear this one as a topper. I don't love the look. And then we've got the other sheer of the collection. This one is Let's Be Friends Forever, and this is a really beautiful, soft, golden sheer shimmer. So we've almost got this like pearly white base going on that is super sheer. You can see my visible nail line through it, and then we have this really intense gold shimmer when it hits the light. And this is another shade that I totally love. I always ramble about how much I love OPI reds, but I also feel like I mention a lot that I love OPI neutrals and sheers. I recently did a video on my favorite wedding nail polishes, and the vast majority of those were actually OPI, because OPI excels at making shades like this, and I think that this is actually a really beautiful wedding polish as well. Although I was thinking it's kind of a funny name if you are the person getting married but your nail polish is called Let's Be Friends Forever. But I still think it's really pretty, and it would also be really pretty with a French manicure. I also wanted to try this one as a topper. I will admit I didn't have high hopes after the other one, but I actually thought that this one looked really cool as a topper over black. It kind of made that black base color a little bit milkier, but it really intensified that golden shimmer, so it is a cool kind of day to night wearing kind of polish. And then we have the final shade of the collection. This one is called Hello Kindness, and this one is a really intense lime green base, and this one also has a beautiful shimmery flaky running throughout, so it's slightly bigger than your average shimmer, and it's not quite as big as the flakes in the other polishes in this collection, so it's just really interesting. It kind of gives a little bit of extra sparkle in my opinion, and it really gives off a mostly silvery green kind of color. But I will say the formula of this one was not my favorite. I started off with 3 coats because it was on the sheer side, but I felt like even in 3 coats I just didn't get that full coverage. I felt like it still looked a little bit patchy, so I ended up having to do a 4th coat for full coverage. And I'm not gonna lie, unless it's a very special finish, I am probably not gonna wear a polish that requires 4 coats, especially because I'm also gonna be doing base coat and top coat, and it would just be too much on the nail. That being said, I think it's a gorgeous color. I'm gonna try to see if I can make it work for nail art, because I might be able to make it work in other instances, or maybe if I applied 1 coat of it over another shade, but as it is, wasn't a huge fan of the formula. So here are all the polishes together, and I think this is such a fun and interesting color story. It definitely feels like Hello Kitty vibes to me, and I honestly really like it, even though these shades don't necessarily go nicely together. But I feel like the formulas, aside from the green, were really incredible. The colors individually are so gorgeous, and I just feel like OPI is kind of a classic brand to me, so they're always polishes that I can rely on being good quality, especially when it comes to pinks and reds and sheers. So I feel like these are definitely colors that I'm going to be reaching for a lot, especially this pink. I'm so pleased that a lot of people are complimenting me on this color. I didn't think it was that special, but it almost makes me feel like it's more special of a color, so I really like that. But yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So those are the polishes, and overall I really enjoyed this collection. With the exception of the green, I thought the formulas were really nice and very workable, and I also really enjoyed all of the colors. I did actually love that green color, even though I wasn't too pleased with the formula, but I feel like I am still going to try to make it work with nail art because I do think it's very pretty. But yeah, even though these aren't necessarily the most original colors, I think they're really beautiful, and I also think they're classics. The 5 colors that did have a good formula, I feel like are colors that you can really reach for any time of year, and they're definitely colors that people who maybe aren't so comfortable wearing super funky shades can also wear. So I definitely understand why OPI decided to make it this way, and honestly I do think that they feel like very good summery vibes, so it works really nicely with the season while also being staple shades that you can wear any time of year. Am I slightly biased because I am a huge Hello Kitty fan and I love all of their collaborations? Possibly, but I do also love OPI and I love their formula, so I feel like it makes sense that I would enjoy these. So now let's get into pricing and availability. Like I said, it is the usual OPI bottle, but the cap is slightly different because it is smooth instead of slightly rough, and it does come with the typical wide flat brush brush that has a straight tip. Now these polishes do vary in price based on where you get them. I get mine from the retailer Beyond Polish, and on their website they retail for $9.25 USD each. I also do have a discount code there, so you can use the code KELLI to get 10% off your order. And they also do have my favorite base coat, the Orly Bonder base coat, and they sell a bunch of other brands as well if you're interested in picking up a bigger order. But yeah, like I said, overall I think this is a win. I even feel like I can make use of that green polish because it's such a beautiful shade. But I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of the colors? Which is your favorite? Which is your least favorite? Are you planning on picking any of them up? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. And of course, a huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon, my royal astronomer Amanda M, as well as my cosmic admirals Ken, Rosie, and Angel. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. For today's fun fact, let's talk a little bit about Hello Kitty because I am just such a huge fan. Actually, my first makeup that I ever bought was a Hello Kitty collab makeup palette. I don't remember what the brand was. It might have been Sephora brand because I know I bought it at Sephora, and that was my first ever eyeshadow palette, and it totally changed my life. Hello Kitty is really the reason that I wear makeup. I do love Hello Kitty. I also love her friends. Specifically, Gudetama is my favorite. I am obsessed with that little egg. The only time I have ever not loved something Hello Kitty is, if you didn't know this, I live in Las Vegas, but if you didn't know this, they have a Hello Kitty cafe here. There's actually two locations. There's one in a mall on the strip, and then there's also like a little food truck, and it's basically just like drinks and donuts and treats and stuff that are Hello Kitty themed. Not gonna lie, they do not taste good. In my opinion. And also, not gonna lie, I still go there all the time because I love Hello Kitty. So yeah, I am a huge Hello Kitty fan. I feel like it surprises a lot of people because I guess I don't strike a lot of people as a Hello Kitty fan, but I feel like it's also, I think, pretty popular for people who dress on the alternative side to be Hello Kitty fans. They definitely sell like a lot of stuff in Hot Topic. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you're a Hello Kitty fan in the comments. We can chat about it. Has anybody tried the Hello Kitty Island Adventure game that's on the Switch? Because I am thinking of buying it, but I'm not sure if I would be into it. So let me know that in the comments as well. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.